Alright, so welcome back to White House Farm. What we're working on today is the rear CV axle here. And my son or daughter must have hit a stick or something, because look at that boot. That is just split right open. Look at that. And we probably could just replace the boot, but looks like we're getting a little bit of cracking down here on this boot, and these are all original to this, so we're just gonna go ahead and replace it. They're cheap enough, and we got a new one, and you can see a lot of oil and stuff is coming out of here. So we'll check the rear diff here too. We'll pull the plug and make sure that we're at level when we're done, once we get the new axle on here. But let's go ahead and start tearing this apart. We'll get the wheel off here and get to it. And this is a 2011 Yamaha Grizzly 350, just in case you're wondering. And I'll leave a link in the description for the rear axle. And this is a 17 mil. Alright, so we need to scrape the mud off these nuts and bolts so we can get them off with no issues. So we're going to take off this one here and this one up here, and then on here you can see that we got to pop this out. It's a detent to hold it in place. A lot of times with the older ones, and actually some of the newer ones, they have a castle nut and then you run your pin through, but this is just bending down this part because it's indented in here, and that just keeps it from slipping off. And then we can go ahead and take this nut off. As usual, we'll go ahead and hit them with a little PB blast. And this is a 1 1/16. So you can see we're going to have to bend that back down once we put it back on, and it just prevents it from just slipping off by itself. And you can see how it's kind of slotted in there. Fits right in there. Alright, so we can take that off. Gives you a better view at what we're doing here now. Now we can get these two bolts here. This is a 17 mil for the nut and a 14 mil for the bolt. Go. put that together so I don't lose it. And the same thing for the bottom bolt and nut. That comes off just like that. And we're gonna grease this all up before we put it back on. You got your Zerk fittings right here. We'll make sure they're lubed up good. Everything else looks good, no scoring inside. Scratched up, actually looks pretty decent. So we set this off to the side now. And now with your axle, you're just gonna grab it and you're gonna pull just like that. There's a little clip up here that just kind of clips it into place. But yeah, you could tell that was pretty bad. Now hopefully the new one we got matches up. We're also gonna clean this out pretty good because you see where all the oil was leaking out. Alright, we're just inspecting the seal, and that seal actually still looks pretty good. So we don't need to change that out yet unless we put some fluid in this and start seeing it leaking, and then we'll have to take it all apart again just to change that seal, but hopefully not. So that looks good. I love it when you get a part and it's the actual right part. And we also got a new nut to put on as well. Oh, cool. So the new one, we don't need to worry about the old one bending it in. So this new one, we'll just smash this down when we put this one on. Awesome. Yeah, because here's the old one, and you can see how they smashed it down to lock it in. Alright, this is going to be pretty easy. Alright, so now that we verified that it's the right part, and it'll fit, which is awesome. That's always a plus. We'll go ahead and grease this up. Alright, so now we're going to do the opposite. We're just going to go and put everything back together. And this should go in. Get it lined up. Jeez. Alright. Took a little bit to push it in there, but finally got it. And we'll straighten it out, give it a little tap with the rubber mallet here, make sure we're fully seated. Yep. Alright, so that is in there all the way now. So let's go ahead and we'll grease this up, get this back on, get our two bolts back in, throw the tire on, and then we'll go ahead and check the fluid. Alright, we'll get some grease on here now. And now we got our new nut. And we'll tighten this up on here. So now we're gonna go ahead and tap this up with the flathead and smush that in there so that way it doesn't twist off. And that's all you're doing. Like I said, some have the castle nut with the pin, whereas this, you just crush that into that slot. Get the tire back on, and then we'll check the fluid. Alright, we'll get the tire back on. Don't forget to put this piece in. Goes in the center. That way it covers everything up. We don't have any fluid coming out, so let's go ahead and top this off. Alright, I got some Napa 8090 gear oil here. We got the plug out. Let's go ahead and pump some into here. And we'll pump it in until it starts to come out. Stuff's really thick right now because it's cold. Alright, so it's the next day, it's light out. Got the new one installed. Got this topped off. Let's go ahead and take it for a ride, see how it does. So we're back. My son was trying to get some drone footage, but it is freezing out, so it's a little tough on the drone. But yeah, everything looks good, worked good. And we're back in business again. Yeah, and we even installed a winch on this one. And these are the same thing, same year. We're gonna do another one on this after we fix the bumper bar that my son, when he ran into the well. And we're gonna be replacing another CV axle up here up front. So you'll know how to do the rear and the front. But yeah, came out good. Blue one is all back in business now, ready to go. Filled up. Luckily no damage was done to that diff. And we're all set here. So once again, we hope you like, enjoy, subscribe, and as usual, we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
You can't say goodbye without saying goodbye to me.
All right, Olaf. We'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye, Obo.
Hi, guys.